What's up YouTube, and welcome to the Permadeath Collective. I'm your host today, Terra, and today we're going to continue with episode 2 of the Spyro Reignited Trilogy playthrough. So if you want to see more content like this, please don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to join me on Twitch. That link is in the description below. Let's get into the video. Alright, so last episode we started off and things got a little bit toasty. Today, we're actually going to go into Stonehill and hopefully Clifftown and finish off the world here in the Artisans' homeworld. Now, a little disclaimer, as far as I'm aware, so Lethal's content is coming out, it's just taking a bit longer because he's been pretty busy. But this week, there should be 2 episodes of the Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire Randomizer Soul Link. One on Thursday and then one on Sunday. Sunday is the regular upload schedule for the co-op content, and then Thursday is normally Lethal's day, but since he's not doing any solo content, we're doing 2 episodes, hopefully. Providing we find the time to do it. So, let's hop into, Stonehill, and let's grab all the little gems. Now, as I stated last episode, this is going to be a full playthrough, pretty much. The only things I won't be doing are skill points, because I don't see the point. They really don't count towards the full percent of the game, they're just there, so it's... And that's partly due to the fact that I don't know where all of them are. I know where most of them are, I just don't know where all of them are. Like, off the top of my head, I have no clue where all of them are. But, to be fair, since I was a kid, even in the originals, they never counted towards full completion, so... In fact, I don't even know why they included them at all, to be perfectly honest, because... Well, they don't count towards completion, and to my knowledge, they didn't account towards any of the achievements either. So I sort of understand it if they at least counted towards achievements, but I don't think they even did for that, so... I'm not too certain as to why they ever actually included them, but... Okay. But no, if you guys want to follow me on Twitch, that would be helpful. At the moment, I'm doing a Pokemon Black 2 Quadlock, which is quite interesting, actually. Pretty challenging, pretty fun. Not bad at all. Of course, those of you watching from my Twitch know that, you know, I'm doing that already, because you guys watch me on Twitch, so... It's kind of really... kind of defeats the purpose, really, of me even talking about that, but... I suppose it could be a lot worse. Now, one thing I do love about the Spyro series is that, like, at least the first 3 games stay pretty consistent. Like, the first one is good, the second one is better, and then the third one is even better. Whereas with a lot of game series that have, like, you know, trilogy sequels or whatever, they don't actually get better as they go along. They either get worse or they stay about the same. And one of the things I do love about Spyro as well is, like, each game feels different in their own right. Like, you can play 1, 2, and 3, and they don't feel exactly the same as the last one, which is very nice. Because it gives you more of a, you know, a fresh perspective when you're playing through all 3 games. And one thing that is pretty cool is that, with the success of Crash Bandicoot 4, I can only hope that they'll do a new Spyro game in the essence and style of the originals. Which would be absolutely fantastic, because, like, Spyro is one of my favorite franchises, personally. Or at least the original trilogy. There are a couple of games that are still okay after the originals, but the originals is where it's at when it comes to the Spyro franchise. Like, love or hate the other games, the original trilogy are the ones that are widely regarded as the best. And for good reason, too. They are fantastic games. They are definitely up there when it comes to PlayStation classics, by any means. And again, not that the Reignited Trilogy is bad, it's not I love the Reignited Trilogy, it's just... certain things about the originals are better. I would have done playthroughs of the originals, but they're not as current, so... But hey, maybe in the future I will do playthroughs of the originals. If you guys want to see that, let me know in the comments below. And then hopefully in a few months, well, after a few more playthroughs of different stuff, I might do a Spyro playthrough. But at some point after Spyro, I want to do a Zelda game playthrough as well. I'm trying to figure out what would be the best game to do that with. Because, I mean, Zelda is my favorite franchise, and I love pretty much every Zelda game. There are a couple that are a little bit questionable. But for the most part, Zelda, in my opinion, is the best video game franchise. Of course, people will have diversifying opinions of what they consider to be the best. It's all about personal preference, really. Like, you know, people like Mario, people like Pokemon, and people like Dark Souls, and Kingdom Hearts, and all kind of crazy shiz. So, people just like what they like, and that's the one good thing about gaming in general, is that people can like what they like, and it's not really frowned upon if you prefer a franchise over other franchises. Because, again, it's all about preference. Like, you know, you've got the people who enjoy games like League of Legends, which there's nothing wrong with it. I personally don't like League of Legends, but I'm not a big fan of any MOBAs, like, in general, so that's not my kind of game. But just because it's not my kind of game doesn't mean it ain't other people's. And that's the cool thing. Unlike with, like, movies and music, people often frown upon people. Like, if you don't like the most current music, people are just like, why do you even exist? Like, what's going on? Like, I don't listen to any of the current crap that's on the radio or on TV or whatever. That ain't my style of music. Like, for me, it's all about heavy metal, but you know, people can like what they like. If you like Taylor Swift, then you go ahead and like Taylor Swift. I'm not gonna judge. Granted, not my style of music, but it doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with you liking it. Just means that you're different from other people, which is fine. Being different is always fine. Like, I would rather be different from everyone else than be the same as everyone. I forgot you can't hover in this game. I would rather be different than everyone else than be the same as everyone else. Like, being different is always better than being the same as every other person out there. It's like, yeah, we like exactly the same thing, and we listen to the same thing, and we watch the same thing, and it's like boring. Like, yawn, what? Why? There's no reason for that to be a thing, but like, growing up, especially when I went to school, like, you'd find that all the super popular kids would all like the same things, they'd all watch the same things, and, you know, all think they're hard men. Like, yeah, sure. Throat was getting a little bit dry then. Ooh. But no, that's a common trope that I've seen, especially in school kids. Like, a lot of kids are afraid to be who they are. Like, I've never been. Like, people didn't bully me, because I've always been a big dude. Like, when I was 15, I was 6 foot, you know, I was big. People didn't bully me, because, like, they knew I would defend myself. But they also stayed away from me because I was different. I was completely different from the norm of, you know, normalcy people. Because, like, the normalcy is different from where you come from. Like, where I live in England, I live central England. The normalcy here for a kid is to listen to, I don't know, some garbage like 2 Chainz or something. Like, do drugs and, like, be a reprobate. You know, in a lighter term of putting it. But like me, you know, I've always been a big dude, I listen to heavy metal, I play video games, and I just chill. Like, there's nothing wrong with that, in my opinion. You know, I've got friends who were always the same, like, not the same as me, but similar to me in the sense of, you know, they were always themselves. You know, one of my best friends, I've known him for like 12 years. Like, we're similar, but we're 2 different kinds of people, you know. Like, we both like heavy metal, but we both differ on, like, movie tastes and, you know, like, a little bit of music taste and definitely game taste. Like, he likes Borderlands, which I'm not a fan of, but, you know, that's fine, and being different and unique is always going to be a thing. And like I said before, it translates very well into video games. People like all kinds of different things, and it's And that's great, because you can, you know, have a conversation with someone who doesn't like Spyro, or does like Spyro, but they like something else better. Like Lethal, for example, his favorite video games are Dark Souls, and I can respect that. I'm an avid fan of Dark Souls. I never beat Dark Souls 1, because Unstandard Smaug are ridiculously OP. I didn't like Dark Souls 2 that much, but Dark Souls 3 I beat and I loved. Demon Souls, again. Absolutely adore Demon Souls, one of my favorite PS3 games. And Bloodborne is probably my favorite PS4 exclusive, because Bloodborne was a fantastic game. But, you know, just because I'm not as big a fan of it as he is, doesn't mean that we can't talk about it. Doesn't mean that we can't share our experiences, or even play it together, you know what I mean? Like, just because you don't like a game as much as someone else, doesn't mean you can't talk about it, and it doesn't mean that you can't give an opinion. Like, I see so many things online, on Twitch and on Twitter, of, like, people saying, like, you know, well, I like the game, just not that much, and other people are like, well, you can't really comment on a game if you don't like it as much as me, and it's like, no, not so much. I can criticize anything I want to, because I still like it, I just don't like it as much as you. I'm not fangirling, you know, over this, because it's good, but not that good, kind of thing. I mean, you definitely do see that in certain communities, but not all of them. There are some communities out there that are a lot more accepting of people's opinions, like on my Twitch, for example. You can come in and say, like, yeah, well, I don't like this game, or I like this game for this reason. I'll be like, okay, that's cool, like, you know, you enjoy it, that's fine with you. I'll go, like, I personally don't like it, or I personally like it, you know? And you can talk about it, and that's perfectly fine, and people are accepting of that, especially in my Twitch. You know, there are a lot of people out there that play stuff that I would never play in a million years. But then you'll obviously find that one very niche game that you like, that not many other people like, but you'll find that someone else does like it, and... You know, like, how many people nowadays, like, I'm a huge fan of stuff like The Sims. I like The Sims. I think The Sims is fun. I mean, sure, don't get me wrong, I'm not a Sims fan person. I don't play it every day and, you know, design 50 houses and stuff like that. I'm just there for the chill and the weirdness factor of how the game works. But, you know, am I the biggest Sims fan ever? No. Like, I just enjoy it for what it is. It's like SimCity or City Skylines. I don't mind those kinds of games, or Roller Coaster Tycoon. I don't mind those, you know, they're interesting games. Building a theme park or what have you is really fun and pretty chill. Nothing wrong with liking that kind of thing. I know people who just play the video game version of Monopoly because they like Monopoly, and that's perfectly fine. It's just, there are people out there that don't seem to understand that there's more than one video game franchise, or there's more than one game. And you tend to see it more with the most popular titles. Like, you know, I've spoken to quite a few people who only play Fortnite. And it's like, you know, they're like, well, Fortnite is the best game ever made. Because reasons, and it's like, well, no, because, you know, there are tons of different game franchises out there. Like, in the past year, what have you actually played? Fortnite. Oh. Well, so much for expanding your horizons. And this isn't me hating on Fortnite. I don't hate Fortnite. I don't personally like it, but I don't hate it. I've played enough of it. Like, you know, there are worse battle royales out there. But for me, I'm not personally a big fan of it. Lethal is, and Panda is. They both play it quite often. I don't. I just don't have it because I don't enjoy it. You know, for me, battle royales, my favorite is Apex Legends. I prefer that game personally, but... You know, again, especially with stuff like Battle Royals, people have their preference. You know, you got the people who like Apex, people who like Modern Warfare, people who like Fortnite, people who like Realm Royale, Spellbreak, that's another one. You know, and that's fine, because each game offers the player something different. You know, Apex offers you different characters with different abilities, giving you different ways to play, and it emphasizes more teamwork than anything else, because... You want characters to play together that are going to mesh well together. You don't want to just stick two characters together because of reasons. There has to be a reason for you picking a character. You know, Fortnite, in my opinion, appeals more to younger audiences because it is more cartoon-like. So you're drawing in that younger male and younger female demographic, which again, It's what they're appealing to, so if that's what they're trying to go for, then there's no reason for them to not do it. You know, Spellbreak appeals to more RPG fans because it's more RPG-like in the way it works. But that's the thing, it's kind of like, it's the same sort of thing with any kind of video game franchise. Like, take Legend of Zelda as an example, right? So each game offers a different experience depending on what kind of player or game you are. You know, like in my opinion, the best retro Zelda game is A Link to the Past. Like, that game is absolutely fantastic, one of my favorite games of all time. You know, and it appeals to a massive audience, and there are a lot of people out there that enjoy that kind of retro style. You know, Super Nintendo is one of the best consoles of all time in my opinion, and A Link to the Past is the best game on that system. Whereas if you've got like a person who likes dark and depressing material, Majora's Mask is the way to go. That is by far the most depressing game I have ever played, but at the same time, it's what makes it good. I mean, Majora's Mask is my favorite game of all time, and that's just because of the atmosphere alone. Like, the atmosphere alone sets the tone. Like, you don't need anything else character or story-wise, because the actual, like, tone of the game is what makes me draw into it. It's like, okay, this is dank and dark and depressing, and you know, it's a bit weird and out there, and you know, and that's what draws me in. Whereas if you want, like, the, you know, the best hero story, in my opinion, you play Ocarina of Time, because that is the most fulfilling when it comes to a hero story. You know, you travel from being a kid and get what you need. But there are also other ones out there. If you like, you know, games like Okami, yeah. I was trying to think of the wrong game then. Okami. If you like Okami and running around as a wolf, Twilight Princess is for you, because you get to transform into a wolf. You know? Or if you like sailing, becoming a, like, semi-pirate, you know, Wind Waker is for you, because that's what you do. You know, it's all about what you choose to like, and you can like a game and a franchise and not like the other games, but like, I like this game because of this reason. Because it appeals to me personally. And that's what video games are. Like, every game is different, no matter what series it's from, and if it appeals to you, then go for it. If it doesn't, it doesn't, you know? There's no harm in saying, I don't like this game, and don't ever fear saying, I don't like this game, because, you know, it's your opinion. You can like what you like. I mean, granted, if you just hate something because other people hate it, you know, I don't necessarily agree with that, because never hate something you haven't tried. Like, you can turn around tomorrow and say, I don't like cheese, when you've never tried it. And it's like, well, how do you know you don't like it if you don't try it? Kind of thing. You know, I've got friends and family who tell me they refuse to eat sushi and hate it because of what it is. And it's like, but have you ever tried sushi? I like sushi. I think sushi's good. Bit of soy sauce, bit of Worcestershire sauce. Beautiful. But you can't really say you hate something until you've tried it. Like, at the minute, me and Lethal, at the minute in our own time, are playing quite a bit of Star Wars Battlefront 2. And, you know, I've heard a lot of people online say they hate the game because of what EA did when it launched. And granted, the game did not have the best launch. It didn't. Like, EA really screwed that game over, and it's a pity because it's a good game. But now they've gone back and fixed it, and it's fun. And, you know, really good to play, and people are still like, well, I don't like it because of what they did. And it's like, have you played it since they fixed it? Do you know what they've done to make amends? Like, that's a great title, and it's unfortunate that people can't see past the hate. Alright, well, we're coming up to the end of this video, so thank you guys for watching. If you aren't already subscribed, don't forget to do so. Don't forget to join me on Twitch. That link is in the description below. I've been Terra, your host from the Permadeath Collective today, and I'll see you guys next time.